Hi, and welcome to Manifesting with Mac, where you get your soul's fill on how to do the day to day work for your own personal journey of happiness, joy, and prosperity. I'm your host, spiritual coach Ari Mack. Ooh, we got a lot to talk about today because we're going to be talking about protecting your happiness. Protecting your happiness. What does that mean to you? Any particular ideas? Suggestions? I come from a very deep spiritual background. I was very fortunate to grow up with a lot of people of faith around me. It wasn't even a question on both my mother and my father's side. They just had a deep, rich tapestry of not only spiritual awareness, but belief. And we would see it. We would see it. We would see the actual miracles happen as we all sit and prayed and focused on one another and our dreams, aspirations, and goals. Now, I'm live on TikTok today under Candles by Ari and here on my YouTube, Manifesting with Ari Mack. Takes a great deal of faith and patience to go within and start dealing with those negative energies. And then we have the outside world that can be very overwhelming to anyone, young, old, and everything in between, especially if you haven't 100% tuned in. Hi, Mr. Black. How you doing today? Thanks for joining me on the TikTok. Hey, guys. So, how to protect your happiness? Well, let's step back because first and foremost, you guys know peace is priceless, right? Peace is priceless. There's no way you can even calibrate how important it is for your own spiritual, mental happiness until it's gone. And then the depression, the upheavals, the lack of faith. And I have examples. I have examples of stuff that I've witnessed over my journey. Well, I've seen people get so close to materializing their goals and then for whatever reason sabotage themselves. They literally just stop trying or let someone undermine their confidence and even worse, stop believing in themselves. So I've been putting together online, if you guys are following me on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, I'm on all of them, steps that you need to take for manifestation, for understanding why astrology works. Now, my background is affirmations, aromatherapy, and astrology. See, I think Spirit gave us all the secrets. Hi, Rise Up. Hi, Hot. How you doing? Don't forget to share, you guys, and like, and keep tapping, and subscribe because you're gonna get at least a little spiritual feeding here every single time I come on. Now I'm gonna stop and go back to happy birthday to all of my Leos. You're the fiercest fire sign in the clan. You're the only fixed fire sign, Leo. So when you show up, you can show out, but you also bring great leadership, understanding of human nature when you're in your high power. And quite frankly, you're just fun. Leos can be the funnest sign in the universe because they are the jokers. They have the greatest sense of humor. And it is said, I can't confirm this, that Jesus himself was a Leo. And this is about the calendar, and we'll talk about that at another time. With Mercury being in retrograde, now we've talked about Mercury retrograde here many, many times. Basically, what that means, guys, is the planets are not flowing with the Earth's circular flow. You know how we have our gravitation? Well, the planets are not going with that, they're going against us. And right now we have four planets, major planets, that are doing it, starting with Mercury. Mercury is our planet of communications. It's how we delve in, how we discuss, how we connect with one another. Well, that's in the sun sign of Leo, as is in the sun, and it's going backwards. Now, Mercury in Leo is not the best position. It's actually said to be a difficult position because Leo is about action and it's about fire and it's about making stuff happen. So if you're sun sign Leo and Mercury's going backwards, then yeah, you're feeling like you have a can on a hand, you have your hand on a can of whip ass and you actually want to, engage. Totally understandable. Totally understandable. And we have a high and we have a low. Now, the high level is where you can understand spirit, you understand what's being said to you. You have a comfort zone that even if someone is saying something negative that you do not agree, you don't react to it because you're not going to allow them to disturb your happiness, right? You're going to protect your happiness at all costs. And the number one thing in protecting your happiness is your self worth. Now, let's talk about this. How many of us really know our self worth? And I'm not talking just dollars, even though dollars do count. Do you know how much you're actually valued? Do you know what your assets are worth? I'm asking. You can answer in the chat. Do you have any idea what what you bring to the table? How you're perceived by others? If you don't show up, does it matter? Think about it for a second. We're always talking about attention. We're always talking about, being a part of a group and wanting to connect. But how many of us actually know what we bring to the table? What we actually incur, not only in debt, but in actually appreciation. Are you getting better with age? Or are you getting worse? Are you learning your lessons? Or are you repeating the same cycles over and over again? It's okay if you need to repeat the same situations. I mean, sometimes that's the only way you learn, right? See, here in the United States, we have a free educational system that allows you from kindergarten through high school to go, if you choose to, and gather information on writing, arithmetic, algebra, English, the whole nine. But of course, if you do not want to do it, right, if you have no desire to take that information in, you show up and let's just say you show out. You don't bring anything to the table. You act like an ass in the rooms. And I have a lot of teachers who are my friends and colleagues and people that I really respect. Teaching is an art. I myself teach on a metaphysical level. But when you don't know your value and you're very insecure, you're going to show out most of the time. And you've had it, guys. You've had people in your life that every time you go to a party or get together, they're disruptive. They're not mature enough to listen to other people. They just act like an ass. That's a part of your assets or your detriment. Yeah. Because if you to choose to be around people who are of low frequency, then you're going to have to, match their frequency or try to bring them up. Now, of course, they have to want to come up. See, that's the big key to this whole thing. You have to want this. You have to put a stipulation on what you're bringing in. So, do you know your value? Do you know what people think about you? If you don't show up for work, would it make a difference? Just think about that for a second. Because work is not about work, work is about raising up your frequency. It takes a long time to be an expert in anything. And when I say long time, it's about being confident, it's about being clear, and it's about understanding why do you love what you love. I love what I do. And I've been very fortunate and blessed to see so many lives being changed, hundreds of lives, if not thousands of lives being changed by just having a coach, a spiritual coach that's actually helping you stay on task instead of being so pulled in so many directions. Hello, Pamela Brown. How you doing today? And with these retrogrades happening, Mercury in retrograde in Leo, Neptune in retrograde in Aries, Saturn retrograding in Aries, Pluto retrograding in Aquarius. Spirit is asking us to review. They're asking us to reconsider. They're asking us to think about, where do you come from and what do you stand for? So I asked you again, do you know your value? Do you know what you bring to the table? Just think about it. Okay. And we're not talking about just the financial worth. We're talking like, when you show up, do people smile and come towards you? Or are they repelled and see you coming and run as fast as they can the other way? I've seen both. I've seen people be completely ecstatic at seeing someone. We see that with entertainers. The euphoric. I think Michael Jackson's a great example of that, where he was just so talented that it touched the whole world. So when he showed up, people would just become hysterical with the fever. But he dedicated his whole life to that energy. That didn't come overnight. That young man, that man, because he's gone now, started as a child and developed the confidence over a period of time to know his value and know his worth. When you walk in a room, this is the greatest example I can give you. Do people come towards you? I will find my Gemini heart. Good, Pamela, because you're going to need it. Because Gemini is being very affected right now by this retrograde. Geminis and Virgos, you're catching the most hell right now because your world is being reversed. So you have to review. And if there's something you haven't been honest with yourself about, oh, it's going to be tapping you on the shoulder, because we haven't even peaked on these retrogrades. We peak next week. And the sun just tiptoed into Leo. So I suspect it's going to be very, very dramatic and interesting. Knowing your worth is the number one thing that's going to set you up for your successful mindset and draw those to you that can help you manage and maintain and perpetuate you. It's called parlay to your next frequency. Number two, and this is so important. I think people overlook this because it seems so simple. So simple. But do we do it? Okay. Honor their body. Honor your body. Now, when I say honor, that's talking about your food intake, your water intake, what you surround yourself with, the products that you put on your skin, the things you put in your hair, the books that you read, the articles that you follow. These are all feeding your body on a metaphysical level, because you're exposing yourself over and over again. Now, I always use the analogy of a car, okay, a vehicle, transportation, and how important is it, okay, to make sure that your transportational vehicle has fuel? Let's just think about that for a second. If you do not put fuel in, let's just say, your car, how far are you going to get before that car shuts down? Before you can't do anything and it's just a hunk of metal sitting on the side of the street? Think about it. Are you eating well? Do you even know how to eat well? I had a client once who came from a very affluent family, but she was a very picky eater. And unfortunately, they didn't reinforce the reason why we eat fruits and vegetables and drink water and get enough sleep. So she pretty much was fickle all the time. Well, as she got older, she started having issues. And one of the main things her doctor told her is that she was not taking enough nutritionally dense food in. Literally, her bones were thin because over a period of time, she didn't eat enough calcium and folic acids to build more muscle. And she tried to blame her parents. She tried to say nobody told her, but it wasn't nobody told her. She wasn't interested. She didn't consider her body as was a temple. She was just skinny, and that's all she wanted. She just didn't want to be fat. So she ate pretty much, I think, a lot of red vines. I don't eat that kind of candy, but it's like that red vine candy stuff. I don't even think it's real candy. I don't know what the hell it is. But anywho, she would eat that on a regular basis, to the point where the doctors told her she could no longer have it anymore because the dye inside of the red vine was eroding her intestinal tract. Her intestinal tract. And her water intake was so low that her kidneys and her liver were having a hard time functioning. But she was skinny, she was thin, she wore size 6, and that's all she cared about until she got to a certain age and her body just couldn't take it anymore. Now, she had a rough time and she had to learn how to eat properly. And she thought it would be really, really, really hard. Baby, she's one of the best vegans I know now because she had to stop and educate herself on what her body worked well with. And guess what she found out? Her body doesn't like meat products. For whatever reasons, I don't know. I'm not a scientist, I'm not a doctor, but her body didn't process animal protein very well. Maybe she was allergic to it all along. Maybe the allergies grew over a period of time. Don't know. But once she eliminated certain things from her diet and added other things in, guess what? Her body started healing itself. Yeah. Her liver regenerated itself. Her kidneys grew stronger. And it was simply because she took the time to look at what she was eating and digesting on a regular basis. Do you guys hear me? That sounds so simple. Now, as a mother, I was very active with my children's diet to the point where I would not allow them. Oh, thank you, Patricia. Thanks for joining me on the YouTube page. Yeah, God's blesses. That's what we found. Oh, thank you, Patricia. That's very sweet. Appreciate. But I found being a mother, it was my responsibility to make sure my children ate extremely well. And I just happen to be a damn good cook. So I enjoy that whole process. So it was not that hard for me to reach across the table to make sure we had that well rounded food on a day to day basis. And now I'm very happy to say that both my girls eat very well by themselves. Matter of fact, there's some picky little things. They like their vegetables grilled. One of the biggest compliments I ever had as a mom was my daughter was at a friend's house, and I don't know what they were eating, but my daughter asked for a vegetable. She asked for a vegetable. She was probably like 13. And the mother called me and said, I am completely blown away. Not only did your daughter ask for a vegetable, she went into my kitchen, went to my freezer, and found some frozen vegetables that we had forgotten we had. And not only did she cooked them well and shared them. And we were all blown away because we do not emphasize that in my house. I can't tell you what a proud moment that was for me as a mom because you can only instill it, but they have to decide if they want to, continue. So if you haven't, as an adult or wherever you're hearing this and seeing me right now, learn to eat properly, let's start that today. And you can start simply by drinking enough water. Okay. This temple is the only body you have. You're not going to get another shot. This is it. And once this body gets to a certain point in time, gravitation is kicking your ass. Gravitation, it's constantly pulling on us, but we don't feel it. But once you stop taking care of your physical being, gaining weight and or not eating right, not drinking enough water. Hold on, I got to take a sip. I know this sounds simple, but having these on a regular basis will cure your dehydration, which will help your nervous system, which can help you sleep better, which in turn, guys, will make you a way better, more pleasant person to be around. A fruit and a vegetable on a daily basis, a banana, a carrot, apple, orange. These are not hard vegetables to find, guys. And even at the convenience store, even though I know they're overpriced, a banana could be up to like $1 for one. long as it's fresh, grab it and share it. Okay, give a little taste to the friend or associate that you're with. Spread the love. Remember, if you can spend some time putting gas on a car, then you can spend some time thinking about your gut health. Last night, I actually tried a new recipe. There's a trend, and I may take this, so you guys may see it on my social media. It's called cabbage bread. Now, I am not the biggest cabbage person. Okay, I'm just gonna tell you right now. I like it, but it has to be cooked. So last night, I actually tried it, and I have to tell you because you can make a bread and you can use it for sandwiches. Wasn't bad. Wasn't bad. I mean, I'll probably film it because it was not pretty. Mine, of course, was on the rough stage. But the idea of the nutritional dense value of cabbage is like incredible. And in the Asian culture, they eat a lot of veggies automatically. They don't even have problems with it. Here in the United States, we tend to eat more processed foods, which is a problem because with our processed foods bring in digestive issues. So please keep that in mind. I was good. Look, it was good. My friend said it was good like a pancake because I experiment with my friends. I always let them try it to see if it'll work out. But just trying new recipes, just dinking around to see what other foods are out there. You would be so surprised at how limited your diet has been simply because you just do not explore. You do not uh, check out other cultures. And I'm not talking just the standard pizza, tacos. No. And I'll put the link somewhere in because I have a couple of people I follow for cooking shows that have some really simple recipes that can actually do really, really well for you. And it doesn't take a lot of money, you guys. It's all the stuff that's available at the store for less than $20 you can eat for a couple of days. And that's what's the most important thing is that you're eating right. Honoring your body, getting enough rest. And I'm not talking just the physical rest, I'm talking about the mental rest. Do you know how to turn off your brain? I'm asking, do you know how to turn off your brain? See, with these advancements like what we're doing now on the internet, which, hey, thank you, sweet spirit. I'm so thankful we have it. At some point, you need to unplug. Yeah, you need to unplug and you just need to step away. Like, just step away and stop engaging on such a just feverish level on everything that's happening around you. I know people binge on the whole TikTok social media, and it's very easy just to spend hours circling, going around and around. But I'm going to ask you on a daily basis to take 5 to 10 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes, and just focus on your breathing. Put your phone down if you can. Go in a quiet place or sit by the water or go sit in the sun. Vitamin D is like, oh my goodness. I think that's one of the reasons in California have a better disposition because we do have a lot of vitamin D, which I'm thankful for. Because vitamin D is very, very efficient for or effective for your mental well-being, and it absorbs right into the skin. I mean, God gave us everything down here, everything, but we have to know how to use it. Honoring your body, getting the proper rest, knowing when your body is tired, knowing when you're pushing yourself too hard. Now, for me, it ends up becoming a cold. I end up feeling, ooh, and my body starts saying, okay, enough. And it just slows me down to the point where I just have to rest. And I don't think you should have to push yourself that hard. But if you don't know your signs and when to quit, the universe is going to tap you on that shoulder. So for me, it's the red flag is when I start coughing. The universe says it's enough. You need to cut that out. And I have learned to honor that. Do you know your limits? Do you know when your body's telling you it's had enough? I mean, it's real important, you guys, that you honor that. You don't want to push it. I know people that need help getting up in the morning. I know people that can't breathe on their own. You do not want to be one of those individuals because it is a very vulnerable feeling to have somebody help you go to the bathroom, help you eat, help you walk. We take that for granted and I think it's not a big deal, but it is a big deal because you're the only you have. And once this body has some issues, well, I guess you know. Number 3. Hi, Tyson. How you doing? I hope all is well with you. Take your mental health seriously. I need you to prioritize it, guys. Prioritize it. You can't be around batshit crazy stuff and think it's not going to affect you. You can't sit and watch the most negative, heinous things happening and think it's not going to affect you. I mean, seriously, you do know that whatever you feed your psyche is how you're working things out in your super subconscious mind, right? So let's just say you have decided to become like a little bit more nuttier. Okay. Let's just say that you keep feeding yourself, I don't know, a bunch of negative thoughts and hateful ideas, especially before you go to sleep. Do you not think that's where nightmares come from? Okay. Dialysis is a bad thing to get on. Yes, dialysis is a horrible thing to get on. That means your body can no longer function on its own. Do you know how sucky, how harsh that be, how sad that is for not only your mind but your body, because you no longer can just get up and go and just get up and go do whatever you want. I mean, guys, I have family, friends, and acquaintances who have lost certain privileges in their bodies. It is a very hard thing to witness, and it's even sadder for me to watch them struggle because they just can't do what they want to do. They can't, even if they wanted to. I'm type 2 diabetes, my friend. Well, then you understand. You have to take very, 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 very good care of your body. You don't have a choice because your body's telling you what it doesn't like, correct, Tyson? So when you are looking at your mentals, guys, are you taking in consideration all the stuff that you're feeding your soul? I mean, let's think about it for a second. Are you reading stories of uplifting, inspirational insight? When you close your eyes, do you see visions of positivity or do you see visions of destruction and mayhem? Do you have constant anxiety all the time? Even more so, you pissed off at the whole world. Like everywhere you go, you just pissed off. Anger about this, anger about that. And reaction constantly, 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 which guys will take a toll on you. Trust and believe. You stay in anger too long. I have a very good friend right now whose mother was a very abusive person. She just was. She wasn't a happy lady. She always blamed other people, and she chose it because she went to doctors and they told her what she needed to do, and she told them she wasn't going to do the shit. Well, now she has dementia. She's given away hundreds of thousands of dollars to people she don't know because, of course, she got involved in some scams online. People saying they were her friends and loved her and wanted to be with her. Ultimately, she couldn't handle her own affairs anymore because she no longer had the mindset to even know what reality is. And her anger has literally hardened her arteries, her spirit. I mean, this woman cannot catch a break. And my friend ended up taking over all of her business affairs just because she could prove that she was no longer fit to make healthy decisions for herself. I mean, like not paying her car note, not paying her mortgage. This is where she lives, and this is where how what she drives. And she ended up losing both just because her mentals could no longer manage. You don't want to be one of those people. Now we do well, I teach a guided meditation class twice a month, and it's like a chiropractor for your soul because it gives you a chance to be still and listen to that inner voice. I invite you to join me. You can follow the link to CBA Candles by Ari and register. And even if you do not make it to the class, I record each and every single one of my meditations. I have a whole library. And if you request, I will send you that copy. I have clients who listen to them on a regular basis, on a day to day basis. Mostly watch crime shows and don't trust doctors around here. Well, Tyson, I would ask that you also try to watch some informative, inspirational stories of people who have regenerated their souls and body, because that would also make you feel more confident and maybe attract a doctor that you would trust. Now, the fourth thing And this is really, really important. And most people overlook this because they think it's not a big deal. You got to recognize the good around you. And what do I mean by recognize the good around you? What does that mean? How do you recognize the good around you? I'm asking, how do you recognize the good around you? Well, first and foremost, do you recognize when people are treating you with respect and dignity? Do you know when somebody's actually treating you lovingly and not that undertow of that negative crap where even though they're smiling in your face, they act like asses? Yeah, I heard Hulk Hogan passed away. God blessings. But I think he was an older person. I think he lived a very successful life. So blessings to him and his family. But do you recognize community leaders, people in your immediate circle who are just genuinely good people? That when you're around them, good things happen. People smile, they come together. Now, one of my heroes are my teachers, because I think teaching is an art that very few people can understand. It is an art to be able to understand and explain a particular situation to people who've never had that experience. It's one of those things that you can't take for granted. And when you're around a magnificent teacher, guys, you could just be at their foot. I think Jesus was one of the best metaphysical teachers of all time. I mean, he turned water into wine, you guys, because that's how strong his belief was within himself. And because of that, he changed the frequency around him. We're here at Countess by our spiritual coach, Ari Mack, and manifesting with Ari Mack. That's what we're doing. We're creating that miracle within you, starting right now. But do you want to do it? Look, when you are doing your homework, and I'm challenging you all to do this, I want you to look at the value of who you have around you. You have people of service, people of light, and they don't have to be ministers, they don't have to be doctors, they don't have to be police officers or nurses, but are they truly good people? Do they keep the community in light or do they bring the community into dark? You tell me. You tell me. How many of us can acknowledge when we're around someone who's just extraordinary, just by their own hands, just the way they conduct themselves, the way they deal with themselves? And I'll give you an example of my local grocery store. There's a clerk that's been there probably since before the pandemic. And I have to tell you, sometimes she looks like she's going through a lot of stuff. But every time I go through her line, and I make sure I go through her line, because first of all, she's damn good at what she does. And number two, she's always accurate and courteous. But every time I go through her line, I make sure I give her my smile. And she told me one day, she looked forward to just me coming through because those few moments while we going through checkout, I ask her how she's doing. I check in to see did she drink water today, and she always laughs and shows me her little water bottle. But it's like an ongoing thing with us. Like one day when I went through, I wasn't even paying attention, and she said, "I have my water bottle," because that's what she's come to expect from me. Someone that's going to check in on her well-being. Do you do that for anyone outside of your family and your immediate friends? When you see them, do you give them your smile? Like genuinely. Do you look at someone and think, God blessings to you, because I want you to have a good day? You'd be so surprised how something so simple could make a huge, huge difference, especially when someone's going through something. Now, right now, we need a lot of prayer in this world. But first, it starts with you protecting your happiness and taking care of your well being. But because before you can help other people, you got to put that oxygen mask on yourself. And I'll let you know a little secret. Just like when you're around negative people, they slowly bring down your frequency because they're just so and their energy so that after a while it's just heavy, just talking to them and interacting with them, and you just get tired of it. Well, same thing happens when you're around positive energy. They actually bring up your frequency. You see something that you didn't notice before. You actually find yourself smiling at things that maybe you dismissed. I think help girlfriend and help me both. Mom's been heart trouble and spent some time, couple of days. Well, blessings to you, Tyson, because I know you're going through a lot and you're on my prayer list. Okay. So I'm sending you a lot of light here. I'm sending it. Did you catch it? In fact, I'll send it to all you guys. Ooh, did you catch it? When you're around a person of substance, someone who has a deep faith, just like when you're around narcissists, sociopath, and psychopath. And I ain't going into the difference. I'll let you do the research and find that out for yourself. For me, when I'm around somebody that's negative, no matter what they're saying to me, there's a feeling, there's a frequency, there's a vibration that's coming off of them that doesn't settle with me. I'm having like anxieties. I'm not feeling centered. I'm like, and I just want to leave their asses alone. Now the opposite's when I'm around a love muffin. Hey, Lice Love 831, how you doing today? Because when you're around somebody who's a love muffin, it's like being around a little baby. I don't know if you guys have children around you, but if you're so fortunate, the innocence and the love that they put off is incredible because they're not doing anything but being them little selves. And they're just little bundles of joy, of innocence, and possible potentials that we haven't even considered. So when you're around people who are low frequency, expect them to try to rob you of your light. I need you to hear me on this. I need you to hear me. With Pluto being in Aquarius, it's going to be about revealing a lot of hidden things that we do not want to know. No one likes to deal with adversity. I'm going to say that again. No one likes to deal with adversity. But to protect our happiness, it's like protecting your bank account. You got to see what's going in and what's going out. And if you're putting less in and taking more out, you're going to be at a deficit. And that deficit will eventually creep up on you and start taking a toll on your mind, body, and soul. And you could see it in the person, you guys. You can see it because they stop eating right. They stop sleeping right. They have negative attitudes. You try to ask them questions and they want to bite your head off. And a lot of times they're bullies. I find 100% of the time the devil will look you in the face and lie. And I need you guys to hear me. He will just lie. He will act like he is trying to be of service. He'll act like he wants to be there to help you, but no, he's lying to you. He's deliberately trying to send you in the negative direction because that's what negative energy does. Because they don't have truth. Yeah, they have done research on frequencies, uh, praying chances, changes, environments, and has crime evidence, 911 prayers, and Diana Prince Rails and others. Yeah, bad energy. I get headaches or stomach. Yes, because once you start tuning yourself, thank you very much for that, Miss Patricia. Because once you start tuning into the fact that these people are dark, baby, baby, baby. I'm just going to use myself as an example. I was once married and was married for quite some time. But as things changed, we grew in different directions. Let me tell you something. The hardest thing is when you love someone and they don't love you the same way back. And I watched us drop. Literally, I watched me try to continue, and I say try to move up, and I watched my relationship deteriorate because this person was not trying. As a matter of fact, he basically told me he didn't want me to move up and did everything he could to discourage me. He even started talking poorly about me to my family and friends. And I had to make a decision. I had to put that mask on myself because he wasn't going to do it. And he wasn't putting a mask on himself as well. Now, eventually, we did have to separate, but we also had little people that were involved. So I had to be very strategic. And a lot of people were like, why are you being so nice? Why are you being so cool? It wasn't about being nice, about being cool. It's about being mature. Okay. When I tell you guys to know thyself and to honor your body and to prioritize your mentals and to look at the good that's around you, man, I don't just say it, I live it every single day. Every single day. When I'm around people that are no longer a frequency for me, people who are, no matter what I say or what I do, they've already determined what they're going to do and how they're going to do it, I have to respect that. I have to honor that because I can't make somebody be what I want them to be. They can only be who they are. Now, I see great things in a lot of people. And I just think because God gave you the potential, you're healthy, your brain works, you can make choices, and there's no restrictions physically placed upon you. Now, we have mental restrictions, what we were reared to believe, what we think is the truth. But here's the beautiful part, boo. You can do your own research and move way past that. You can verify anything. The beautiful part about the information that's available now is the universe has given us free will. And that is to protect our happiness. But it's got to be a priority. Now, at Candles by Ari, I do have a lot of free information, free affirmations. They're available in my link, they're available on my site. We do affirmation aromatherapy candles because I knew people needed something else to hold on to, something to have that initiation, and not to mention affirmations. Baby, 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 baby. The affirmation that you're saying to yourself, good or bad, that's gospel. That's gospel. Because if you're saying derogatory, negative, jacked up shit to yourself on a regular basis, that's what you're going to have to deal with. Now, don't get me wrong, because we do have mental illness. I'm going to say that. There is truly mental illness, which I think is a form of evil because it robs people of their dignity and it steals their time. So they look up and they're older and they're tired and they're bitter and they haven't done a goddamn thing to change. But that's a free will choice. It's a free will choice. You, like I said, you can't make somebody change no matter how much you love them, but you can be that example of what change looks like. And that's starting you first, protecting that happiness, protecting that glow, baby. No matter who you're around, no matter who you're dealing with, no one can rob you of your joy. You surrender it by giving permission to believe what they're throwing at you, by not knowing your worth, by not knowing your value, by treating your body disrespectfully, putting things in your system that you know ain't gonna help you become a better person. If anything, they're gonna take you down, dehydrate you, and get some sleep. And if you have to get extra aid, there is plenty of natural sedatives available on the market that you can go to any health food store. Matter of fact, talk to your local nutritionist. They could probably give you a lot of insight on things that would help you relax more. You don't always have to go into deep sleep, but you can set yourself up so you're going in that direction. Protect your happiness. Now, this retrograde, particularly Mercury, is going to be going on to August 10th. August 10th, you guys. It's going to peak next week, and I'll have a different report next week on just the fallout and preparing yourself for what you need to do for your own mental and spiritual well being. I do have a program that offers a weekly cheat sheet, if you will. It's like a forecast for every single sign with affirmations and a lot of extra hints for nutrition that are simple things that you can do every day to make yourself relax. Sleep, I sweat like crazy. Well, Tyson, that's your body telling you something. That's your body releasing something. I would talk to your nutritionist and your doctors and maybe look into alternative medicines in your area. Start researching right now on the net, okay? Because there are things available, but you have to want them. You have to implement them. And guys, it's not always easy. It's not an overnight thing, change. James comes with, a lot of different choices and it is uncomfortable. I'm not going to lie to you. But on the other side, we did a day prayer circle. I do weekly prayer circles every single day. I do weekly with a group, but I pray every single day with some group all over the world. When you get into the habit of that kind of prayer, it feels weird when you don't do it. But anyway, we had a prayer circle last week, and it was very successful. And I will be doing another one next month. It was my first experimental. And we had someone come through that needed help. And we decided as a group to give them that help. It was like a couple of bucks. They wanted like maybe 50 bucks. And the people in the group got together independently, and I sent them the cash. The next day, I did not know this person, never met this person. This was just an act of divine design that we felt compelled to do as a prayer circle group. The next day, I called the person to see if they got what they needed because it was a very specific amount. So, they told me no, they did not reach their goal. They did not go where they needed to go. And I said, well, blessings. I'm sure more opportunities will present themselves. Now, this is when it hurt me, but I accept this because you know what? Everybody's got their journey. Not only did the person say a very nasty, what the fudge and this ain't things, but they told me, and this was in a text, that they hate God and had a bunch of other things to say about God. They have a right to their opinion. They have a right to feel what they feel. But they just received a miracle through my group who did not know them, and they still didn't believe. They still had something derogatory to say. And you know what that meant to me? That person wasn't mature. That whatever was going on inside of them, it didn't matter what they received. They had already decided they were going to go down a negative path. And I blessed them. Now it hurt my feelings because I'm human, you guys. You cut me, I bleed. You pinch me, I scream. I don't walk on water. And when I do stuff, I do it from my heart. So I'm very passionate. And anyone that's close to me, either you get better or you leave my ass alone because we ain't going backwards. We don't have nowhere backwards to go to. Can we go back into our parents? Heavenly, no. We have to continue to move forward. So for me, it was heart wrenching, but at the same time, I had to accept that this person was not ready, even with the blessings that we tried to extend to him, to receive Spirit's light. And I gave him to God. Literally, I put him in a bubble in my mind. I put the white light of Christ around him, and I gave him to Spirit because there's nothing I can do for him. His heart is dark and his eyes are closed, so he can't see, hear, taste, or feel. But I still blessed him. And I protected my happiness by acknowledging that it hurt and acknowledging that I did not like it, but I respected that that's where that person had to be. Now, these retrogrades that are happening are harsh and they're very, very, dark. Please take care of yourself. Please look into stress management, drink enough water, get enough sleep. Take yourself seriously. Don't treat your body with disrespect. Okay? I don't take money from anyone, but talk to you and meet you means a hell of a lot to me. Anyway, aw, Tyson, you're a beautiful soul. And it's okay to receive from wherever the universe wants to give you, as long as it's pure and you know that this person or the situation is right for you. There's nothing wrong with receiving blessings, guys, from expected and unexpected sources. But to protect your happiness, you need to follow the suggestions that I've made today. And would you follow, like, and subscribe? I'd love to hear your feedback on how some of the affirmations or tips or insights have been helping you. Because one of my joys is to see you smile on the inside. My goal is to create a positive vibrational network that surrounds all of us of like mind and spirit. And because of that, we're all blessed. Okay. Now, do check out my GAP program, the Guided Astrology program. It's a great cheat sheet. It's a labor of love for me. It's all done through Zoom. And we give you even the best days of the month, you guys, to actually do your thing. And maybe days you shouldn't do your thing. I tear up with your comments. Aw, Tyson, please don't forget to check out my program, Tyson. I think that you would actually be very blessed. And Patricia, blessings to you. Continue to stay on your path. Continue to love yourself And guys, don't shut down when you see something negative. Ask Spirit to show you what to do, or just bless it and let it go. But either way it goes, you make your happiness the priority and you protect your happiness. Now, I'm live every week or at least a few times of a month, and I'm on all the social medias. And like I said, we're creating a network of positive vibrational folks. I'm going to bring some of my team members and some of my students on board so they can actually share with you the miracles that they've received. I've had students that literally checked every single goal they had. We're in the process right now of creating new goals for her. Ah, I thank you with grace of God. Bless you. Thank you for your time. And blessings to you guys. Thank you for joining me, you guys. Thank you for my YouTube. Please don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. And remember, we are here for one another. We are affecting each other, good or bad. And prayer, meditation is the best way to stay connected. I salute the divine in you. Please check out my website. We have blue this month as the featured candle. It's absolutely delicious. Meditation class will be the 27th, I think. Yeah, I think it's the 27th, which is this Sunday at 3 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. You can check that out at cbacandlesbyari.com. And don't forget, guys, you are blessed. Namaste. See you soon. Bye. Thanks for joining.